Hi, welcome back to my channel. This time I thought I would do more of a podcast style. So I do have a reading coming up, but I got this channeling for the Pisces new moon that I just kind of wrote down and I wanted to share it with you guys. So let's go. This Pisces full moon is an extremely important lunation to jumpstart the awakening of our sovereignty. Humanity is not in their sovereignty yet. When we are not in our sovereignty, we're not able to stand sovereign. We're not able to stand alone in our truth without becoming dense or fearful and start recreating from past lives. We as a collective are not yet able to hold space for our higher self and the highest good of all in each moment, without becoming hard in our bodies because we fear being attacked. We are also not always able to hear other people speak their truth without becoming hard in our bodies, as we want to convince them that what they say are wrong. When we become hard in our body, when we become dense, when we feel fear, when we feel stressed, when we feel like we have to fight or resist something, or even when we feel like there is no point in speaking our truth, that we are not safe to speak our truth, it shows us that our inner animal is not safe. When our animal is not safe, when our animal activates the fight or flight system within our body, then the resources of our body, the resources of our personal piece of earth, the resources of our land, are used to feed and to play out these past lives that exist inside of our subconscious. Our animal either runs from these past lives or it wants to fight them, to try to control, to use all of its energy to prevent what happened in the past from happening again. These past lives are the energetic imprint of life that has existed on Earth so far. And we keep unconsciously feeding these old energetic blueprints. We keep unconsciously creating from them because our animal is scared to death. As a result, we are not able to bring heaven to earth. We are not able to be sovereign beings because our animal is stuck reliving hell. And so we can see that our lack of sovereignty is linked to the fear of death, to the fear of what has passed, the fear of the pain of the past. Our shadow is the part of our psyche that links us to all these things. Energetically speaking, our shadow is the energetic imprint, the vibrations, the frequency of all of the lives that are ever lived here on Earth. Vibration is not just a metaphysical phenomenon. Vibration converts to physical form through different parts of our body. Different areas in our body can sense a range of vibrations, and it can further translate that into information. One example of this kind of information is feeling. Feelings are actual physical chemical compounds that are produced within our body to send information across different tissues that have evolved at different times throughout the history of the earth. When we are looking at the body, we might say that it can be compared to a pearl. It is built up of layers and layers of different technologies that emerged at different periods here on Earth. And so through our physical body, we are energetically linked to more or less everything that has ever existed on Earth. We are plants, we are animals, we are bacteria, and we are viruses. We can almost say that we are dragging around everything that has ever existed inside of our own body, but with almost no space within our conscious mind, within our day-to-day, to understand and to witness how this actually affects us. We do not understand our nature. And so it is no wonder that we can feel overwhelmed. It is no wonder that we find it difficult to approach our shadow. At this point in time, our body is a part of our shadow. Nature is a part of our shadow. There is so much about life that we do not have room for in our consciousness. And as a result, we do not understand. And so, our animal, the part of us that senses what we are up against, vibrationally speaking, is right to feel powerless at this time. It is the truth. We are in deep shit. But since our animal has been programmed through millions of years to fear the shit, to fight or flight whenever it feels that feeling of powerlessness that comes with being knee-deep in all this shit, we become stuck in it. We become stuck in this place of unconsciously reliving the past, because we have not yet learned how to soothe and understand our inner animal. And so we let it become the director of our faith. When we feel fear, our animal needs us. It needs our understanding. It needs our humanity, our light, our higher awareness to connect to it. When we tune into our shadow, we tune into death. What has passed, what has died, what has been recycled. But our mind is not conscious of this unless it learns to be. Our higher mind, our human, does not yet understand what our animal senses. And so no wonder our animal is scared to death. Our animal is at this point in time trapped inside the same body as a human that does not value its existence, that does not know how to soothe it, how to take care of it, because it lacks understanding. The human does not spend any of its time observing or learning about its animal. The human just wants the animal to work, to do what it's meant to, like a machine. But our animal is a part of us that does not speak or understand complex language, for instance. We cannot program our animal because our animal is not a machine. It has needs because it is a part of nature. Nature needs what it needs. If not, it lacks. Life needs what it needs in order to be a life and not a death. Life needs in order to thrive, in order to evolve. And so to try to deprogram our mind, our human, to not notice the lack or the needs of our animal, of our earth, is not an act that is rooted in love. It is not an act that is going to lead to the highest good of all. It is an act that lacks understanding of earth itself. It is an act of a human that does not know how to use the shit of the past to grow the seeds of the future. Our inner animals needs us at this time. Our animals need to be understood. They need to be taken care of. They need space to find their peace so that they too can evolve and learn. Our animal is not built to be metaphysical. Our animal does not know how to be an energy worker. Through millions of years, the foundation of our body, the foundation of our animal, was created to exist only in the physical. Everything was physical. It was real, life or death, extinction or evolution. And so to our animal, it does not matter whether it is faced with the energetic imprint of death or actual physical death. It still just registers as death, and the fight or flight is activated. For our animal to begin to feel safe with confronting the shadow that carries the energetic imprint of death, it needs to learn that the shadow is metaphysical. It is energy, not matter. It consists of blueprints, not physical form. The spiritual war is just an energetic imprint of what has existed. It is not an actual threat to our physical lives unless we give life to it. By believing it, by taking on the fight, by feeding it energetically and bringing it into the physical through our animal. Observing our feelings, observing our fears, observing our lack is therefore a way to learn more about these past lives that are connected to these feelings. When we observe, we use our conscious mind to go deeper into these energetic imprints that our animal fears. We begin to make sense of the darkness. We bring light to it to help our animal feel more safe. The werewolf was a mystical creature that was said to come out at full moons, lunar eclipses, and other astrological events that could be used as a portal to connect deeper to our collective shadow. People tended to fear the werewolf because they feared their shadow. They feared their shadow because they could feel that they would not be able to stand in their sovereignty if their shadow would come too close. That is why they would stay inside when the moon came out. They knew the power that our shadow can have over us when we are not yet sovereign, when we are not yet able to hold the light that is required to stand in love when facing the dark. Then the shadow owns us. It takes over our life. Our shadow can have the power to turn us away from our humanity by turning us into only an animal, driven by our fears, driven by our needs and our lack. The werewolves that react to the moon because of their lack of self-awareness. The animal that responds to and recreates whatever decides to come through that moon. But this Pisces full moon, we also have another choice. We can choose to make the werewolf into an aware wolf by becoming aware, by observing our inner nature, by observing our animal. If our animal is fearful, it needs us. It needs us to understand something about what has been, about what it senses, about what it fears. It needs our human to look at it so that it can let go of fear. It needs us to teach it about the metaphysical, to soothe it, to show it that what it senses is not manifest. It is just a ghost of the past, an energetic memory. We see many people at this point in time not being self-aware, reacting to their own fears, thinking that they are real. Many are not aware that they are taking on the energy of death by giving their life to our collective shadow. That is why this is not a time to interact with people. It is not a time to fight. It is actually a time to run away, to protect our animal by retreating. Nature knows this. It is showing us that we need to isolate. The gates of hell are opening, but heaven has not yet come down to earth. There is not enough light for the lost souls yet. There is no peace yet. There is just a lot of fear. And so the werewolves are unconsciously driven by our dark nature. And so the earth is telling us to stay home, to protect our life, to protect our evolution, to protect the emergence of new earth. Running away and hiding at this point in time gives us the room that we need to learn to soothe our animal, to understand that layer of consciousness within us. When we understand, it will be much easier for us to face our shadow, to face the moon with awareness, with love, with peace, humanity emerging, allowing us to bring peace to the pain of the past, to the lives of the past, to the souls that are stuck. This is our chance to begin to unite heaven with hell inside ourselves. And this will bring us power. We will gain more power as we prove our humanity inside of our own body. It is what builds our star power. The power of the highest good of all running through our bodies as we are deeply aware and in compassion of the past, the nature that created us and still resides within us. And that is when heaven takes root and we will be bathed in the blue light of the 5D. So this was the channeling that I received. I know it was a bit intense. It talks about kind of these extreme themes of life and death. And I guess that this is very much the energies that we are moving through right now. So I decided to let the channeling come through as it was. And I trust that you will be able to discern for yourself the messages that is right for you. So anyway, I'm wishing you a lovely full moon. Find peace, stay safe, and take care all of the different parts of your nature. Goodbye.